Welcome on the cosmic atom sea. You were never meant to hunt scraps. And deep down, you knew it. Even when you had nothing in your hands, you inadvertently but permanently included that sensation into your tale. This is not a hallucination. This is memory. Because before the world taught you how to exist by shrinking, God had designed for you to be supported by being completely yourself. And the moment has arrived. This is not about hustling. This is not about establishing your value. This is when heaven starts to finance what it created. Not a mask, not an imitation, but the genuine you. The person who took the narrow path and remained. You're not getting rewarded for playing the game. You're receiving funding because you refused to. You moved away from platforms that valued your skill but not your authenticity. You choose wholly above flashy. You remained impoverished in ego, but wealthy in alignment. And now, compensation is catching up. This is not a review of your performance. It's a heavenly validation of your transformation. Because God doesn't pay you by the hour. It's wonderful. And the currency preference position used to have friction doors, where there used to be walls. Anointing which grants access. Money cannot even purchase. They will not grasp how you're going into an overflow. Without a formula, a sponsor, or the foundational cultural blueprint. But you did not miss any stages. You remained motionless when everything in you wanted to move. You watched others rush forward while your spirit remained in the shadows. You stopped pursuing validation. And God inscribed your name in an inheritance that no algorithm could deny. This is larger than income. This is effect. And only God noticed how much it cost to get here. The days you wanted to quit, but didn't. Others are celebrating the seasons you saw, while you feel invisible. The years you spend in quiet would have shattered most individuals who claim to have it all together. You didn't miss it. You were being made in a manner that would not collapse later. It's similar to how certain stars do not show when expected. Not because they aren't dazzling, but because they are hidden by layers of time and enormous distance. Only under the perfect circumstances can their radiance be shown. You were not invisible. You were just waiting for the environment to catch up with your frequency. And now the radiance is obvious. People misunderstood your quiet for a delay, but God was laying a solid foundation for a torrent of favor. You weren't simply surviving the lean seasons. You were learning to breathe without pleading, how to show up without faking, how to move without requiring applause. And now you're ready to be paid to live as that version of yourself. Not the edited one, not the appealing one, the aligned one. The one who has survived the fire without becoming bitter. The person who lost everything yet still remained compassionate. The one who did not sacrifice sincerity for recognition, even when it seemed like the only path ahead. And here is the part that no one tells you. Heaven waits until you are strong enough to hold what will not shatter you. That's why it seemed like nothing was coming. That is why the breakthrough was delayed, despite your faithfulness. It was not punishment. It was precise. God did not wish to give you prosperity just for your hands. He intended to offer it to your soul. Wealth. It seems like breathing rather than haggling. Wealth that does not need you to transform into a version of yourself with which you cannot sleep well. Wealth that suggests you're secure today. And that type of money does not come quickly. It comes just on time. Something is moving right now. You can feel it in the air, the tension before a wave crashes. The inhalation occurs before the exhale. It's not loud yet, but it's undeniable. Double because the next benefits are not loud and spectacular. It is obvious. And once it arrives, you won't have to persuade anybody of who you are. Your actions will speak for themselves. Your relaxation will become a revelation. Your article will serve as evidence. Because when God finances a life, it exudes a brightness that no marketing campaign can match. And that's what comes next. The age of attempting is coming to an end. The era of receiving for who you really are has here. And when it does arrive, it will not seem like money for service. It will seem like a celestial acknowledgement, a nod from heaven, confirming that you did not fold. You did not transform. You remained planted. Keep an eye on the dirt as it opens up, because what's coming to you is more than simply bills and survival. It is riches linked to identity, truth, and purpose. It will feel unusual at first as relaxation replaces the stress you have lived with for years. How rooms begin to open without you, kicking the door down, and how supplies appear before the pressure hits. Not as a bribe, but for confirmation. Because for the longest time, you only understood how to perform for worth, to demonstrate value via exertion, and to gain affection by being helpful. But this chapter is about being recognized without making a sacrifice, supported without pleading, appreciated without shrinking. This isn't the season for just enough. This marks the arrival of more than enough. And not because you pursued wealth, but because you evolve into the kind of spirit capable of carrying it without being egoistic. You've been entrusted with people's sorrow. Now you are trusted with delight. You've been allocated to broken locations. You're now being called into gorgeous ones. No, not everyone will grasp what is occurring. They will seek for a plan. They will attempt to reverse engineer your steps. They'll ask you, what app? Which platform? What's the connection? I flipped the switch. However, they will be unable to develop a formula since this blessing was not obtained by procedure. It originated from maintenance. You remained faithful. You kept your character even when no one was looking. You did not let the desert harden your heart or change your ideals. And that is why the riches is pouring today. It doesn't contain any strings. It is not associated with manipulation or identity loss. It will not need you to shape-shift or perform since it is not a paid position. It is a reward, not a bargain. A testimony. The evidence is in how it feels. You're not frantic about it. You feel at ease. You're feeling open. You feel rooted. And the tranquility, this is a new frequency of reception, because receiving doesn't always include pyrotechnics. Sometimes it comes with a profound silence, a sense that the fighting has ended, that the long drought has finally given way to rivers that do not stop midway. This is when heaven starts to support your tranquility, calm, and delight. You are not paid to perform. You are compensated for what you carry and who you are. When no one is applauding because you safeguarded the light at your story's darkest moments. And now, that light is manifesting in overflow possibilities that feel like alignment, not duty, and provision that feels like destiny, not debt. Surroundings that provide you calm rather than deplete your life power. You're entering a season when ease and greatness coexist, and you're no longer the underdog since heaven doesn't regard you as such. You are a pillar, not a project. You are a steward and not a struggler. And when others ask how it occurred, you won't have a 5-step explanation. You'll just remark, I stayed when it was hard. I walked when it didn't make sense. And I never let resentment ruin the promise. That is riches. Wealth is more than simply money in your hands. It is the peace of mind that comes from knowing that everything has been taken care of. It is waking up without fear. It's knowing that your name is synonymous with something precious and unstoppable. So, stand up straighter and talk slowly. Feel the seriousness of the situation you're entering. You are not hustling for crumbs. You're hosting plenty. You aren't asking to be noticed. You're being positioned to be acknowledged. You are not surviving the page. You are walking into the headline that heaven has already written for you. And you aren't simply being paid to exist. You're being praised for persevering without getting bitter. You're being praised for taking the difficult, peaceful paths. You're getting a prize for loving. What seemed like loss, let it in. Wealth, support, and recognition. You didn't need to prove anything, but God said it was time. And when heaven declares it's time, even the gates you never imagined it would open swing widely. Thank you for joining me on this adventure. If you found this message useful, please like the video and share it with others who may benefit. Don't forget to subscribe and continue your incredible adventure by viewing one of the videos on your screen that speaks to you most. See you there. Dear viewers, your support through Super Chat and membership is the only source of income that keeps this channel running. If you want me to continue uploading valuable content without delays and to stay motivated in providing you with the best wisdom, I need your help. Every contribution, big or small, makes a huge difference. Feel free to donate and support Pure Wisdom so we can keep growing together. Your generosity keeps this journey alive.
If you're enjoying the content on Pure Wisdom and find value in the messages we share, I encourage you to subscribe. Based on the latest analytics, 93.9% of viewers are watching without subscribing. By subscribing, you not only stay updated with new content, but also support the channel's growth, allowing us to continue spreading wisdom for the chosen ones. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an important message. Let's build this community together.